Luminant Luminaughts, a 5D water, fire, earth, wind, Solosolid practicing guide collective awareness culling. Gleeking greetings and great salutations to your salivations. Another witch to define flamers with water or tallow along flit to your envy's desiring wickedries of these candles' magics may have you burning low for more than were two winds meet. So get all your flying monkeys to gear up canopy, so our yawns can stretch refreshingly upon awakenings as we're about to lend some futures for Neosphere's flight of the navigators a run for their honey hexed. Honestly, this one may land me with fresh, raw, and vulnerable. So set your table, get your pitchforks and spades ready to dig after this here lynch of a mob comes after our secret knocks tap door for root of this topping us off. And now a quote from a grateful heart. My other glasses, the metal broke from being used on and off so much, so I'm using the ones my brother gave me. They shall return more than they were, and ever ascending. Ralph Waldo Emerson. So I was gonna today do this reading of the self. Just for the collective to see what the cards have in store for me. And thus by seeing, possibly increasing the awareness around what they would say and how the collective would empower that, depending on how the consensus of their interpretation sets forth the culmination of quantum soup through their gravitas to proliferate in veritas throughout our corporeal reality here. And let's see, for water, we've got the Princess of Swords. Keywords. The earthy aspect of air Out of the clouds into clarity. Victory over moods. Rebellion. The Princess of Swords represents a fresh intellectual clarity which shakes everything up. She has just demolished the old altar, which explodes, sending clouds of smoke, rubble, and ash into the air. When the intellectual and spirit air renewal meet the earth element, the altars of old ideals are destroyed and the smoke will soon settle, leaving room for clarity. Every change, every inner conflict you experience sends smoke and ash, emotions and moods flying into the air. But the Princess of Swords does not allow the dust caused by the destruction of the old and useless to cloud the clarity of her vision. She uses her sword to sweep away moods and disruptive thoughts which may arise. She is resolute and aggressive, dealing well with practical issues, particularly when they include contradictory or paradoxical elements. The Princess of Swords represents an extremely rebellious person who is not to be intimidated by the established or the sanctified, because she rebels in the name of clarity, openness, and truth. In her authenticity, she is prepared to destroy anything repressive, anything which prevents a full experience of life, including all moral codes. Her no to repression is rooted in a deep yes to herself and existence. We can compare her actions to Jesus throwing the moneylenders' tables over and out of the temple. Indications your thoughts and visions may at times destroy holy altars. Don't let yourself be buried in the flying debris. Don't allow your moods to take hold of you. Remain true to your real ideals. Questions. What old altars are present in your surroundings in your life? Have you the courage to destroy them? Look inside. See if your rebellion is rooted in love. Affirmation. My rebellion is positive, constructive, and creative. And for the sacred element of the envies of fire, we have also another princess, Princess of Wands. Keywords: the airy aspect of fire, intensity, blossoming love, intuitive creativity, out of darkness and into the light. Oh no, that's the prince, pardon, okay, here, the Princess of Wands. The earthy aspect of fire, being freed from fear, new beginning, optimism, increased perception. The fear is conquered. The Princess of Wands, naked, open, unprotected, has vanquished the tiger of fear. See the Fool. Her staff bears the symbol of the sun. The feathers on her head indicate her increased perception and sense of justice, which she has gained by overcoming her fear. She dances her ecstatic dance in a huge flame. Beside her, on an altar ornamented with ram's heads, the fire of spring, new beginnings, burns high. The fiery red background symbolizes passion, vitality, and flaming energy. When fear disappears, undreamed of springs of enthusiasm and joy bubble up, revitalizing our lives. Our self-limiting fears, the tiger's corpse, can be buried and forgotten. Indications: your old fears have lost power over you. Their dead remains cannot frighten you any longer. Reflect on your greatest strengths. Question: what is the next step in your life? Find it fearlessly. Suggestion: learn about ways of transforming fearful feelings. Get involved. For example, in dance, trance work, or ecstatic forms of meditation. Affirmation: my greatest strength is, as I accept my fear, it is transformed into the love of my experience. And for what the sacred fires relationship with waters solidifies and culminates into our earthiness. The hanged man. The hanged man. For the element of earth. Keywords: congealed, end of a situation or relationship which is stuck, letting go, giving up, surrendering, learning to see a new way, the necessity of breaking through old behavior patterns. The hanged man is nailed upside down, a position in which the personal will is broken. The situation is at a stalemate. There is no more room to move. Escape of any kind has become impossible. Elding, right? The serpents of transformation and wisdom lay coiled and sleeping. The hanged man is nailed to the wood of his petrified attitudes and viewpoints. His eyes are closed. He is blind to all which does not fit into the closed system of his concepts. Every new idea, every new impulse is ignored or resisted. His head is shaved. The hair, symbol of spiritual perception, is removed. The hanged man has even lost trust in his own intuition. All his efforts seem unpromising and doomed to failure. However, even in the midst of this hopelessness, wonders can occur. The point has come at which you can no longer avoid seeing naked realities. There is nothing left but to face up to them and let go. This form of capitulation or recapitulation, the giving up of willfulness and frozen ideologies, leads to far-reaching transformation, breaking through rigid behavior patterns, clearing away old rubbish, full surrender to the higher self, freedom from narrow-mindedness and dogma. One who bows willingly to the cosmic order of the universe is able to become one with the flow of the Tao. Not my will, but thy will be done, for thy will is also mine. The great reward for the deep surrender to the whole is a 180 degrees turn. The world can be seen from a new perspective. Indications: it is now possible for you to recognize where you are stuck and which areas of your life are congealed rather than flowing. There is nothing to do. The mere act of perceiving your reality clearly makes transformation possible. Questions: in what areas of your life are you stuck? Are you ready to recognize and let go of your petrified thought and behavior patterns? Suggestion: draw another card that which awaits you when you surrender. And you could do that yourselves, or I will after, and maybe after I'm done with this reading. If it resonates for you, but like I said, this is mostly a culmination for for me and our Earth that I'm experimenting here. This has a different way of porting love from and to and with the collective, right? So you can draw that card if you wish to resonate with a shared oncoming future or whatnot. Affirmation: I let go and realize, follow and accept the will of the divine in my life, which reveals itself to me step by step throughout our divinings, right? Okay. And so we got one more card here. See? Oh, pardon, my bad. We have two more cards. As we move from the surface of Earth back into the air with Mother Water and Father Fire or whatnot, we get to the card for the element of air or wood or whatnot. We get the Ten of Wands, oppression. Keyword: Saturn and Sagittarius. Repressed feelings, energy held back, parting, isolation, and aggression. The vital energy of the... Oh no, that's the... Oh yes. The vital energy of the Eight of Wands in the background is repressed and hindered by the two strong wands in the foreground, which carry the same symbols that appear on the Two of Wands. On that card, however, the wands are united and support each other, while these two stand separate next to one another, building a stark barrier. Sagittarian readiness to communicate is blocked by Saturn, and strong fear arises. If you fear rejection, disapproval, or punishment, you will begin to repress your own impulses. Your strength, your vitality, and your life energy cannot be expressed. Repressed, these energies turn into irritation, rage, and violence. If this aggression finds no external outlet, you may turn inward on yourself, and it may express itself as self-denigration or repression in all its aspects, up to and including illness. This card is an invitation to recognize and end your repression and restriction of your own life impulses. This is a step toward taking responsibility for yourself and freeing yourself, yours elf, from unjustifiable moral restrictions and limitations. Indication: whether you are consciously repressing yourself or not, recognize that there is much more which you would like to express, experience, enjoy, and celebrate. Dare. There is some things... Question: there are some things you have always wanted to say to certain people. What are those things, and who are those people? You can, for the time being, just for yourself, express those things right now. And here it suggests to draw another card to help you do that or whatnot. Maybe I'll do that as well, and if this resonates for you, you can do it yourself anyhow. And ask the question while you draw that card: what will my life be like when I'm ready to free myself? And we'll have that mystery to hold in our mystique betwixt each to another. Suggestion, or no, affirmation: I have the right to follow my feelings and life impulses. Okay, and for what is being spirited from our ephemeral placements of mind in the future, calling us forth to meet the fifth element here of the 5D to the 4-3 2-1 contact. We have the sun. Keywords: sun, highly creative, awareness, fulfilled, love, relationship, wisdom, spirituality, transformation. The sun radiates as the center, in the middle of the 12 astrological signs, and bathes everything in its light. From its interior blooms the rose of realization. Its light is the essence of clarity and highest consciousness and awareness. 2 children with butterfly wings dance on the green mountain of creativity. This is a symbol of a liberated partnership between man and woman. The freedom gained is expressed in ecstatic joy and enthusiasm. Now all energies are fully available for a common creative process. The energies will no longer be wasted in struggles over dominance, jealousy, or boundaries. The wings of their combined creativity, the experience of union in the service of the great light, carry them aloft. Evaporates or otherwise. To precipitate, they experience and enjoy fulfillment in every moment. There is no wished for goal off in the future. Everything is here and it is good. The wall surrounding the tip of the mountain means that the highest peak of freedom of consciousness remains locked to these 2. In order to pass beyond, they must leap one last special hurdle. The small entrance to the peak must be found by each of us. In this state of ecstasy, of far-reaching alchemical transformation, a far-reaching alchemical transformation can or may take place. The person represented by the moon is a reflector of light, while the person presented by the sun has become a source of light, embodying the qualities of wisdom and spirituality. He is no longer just a mirror. like the moon, which reflects the sun's light without being able to radiate light or warmth itself. He has found the ultimate source of inner light. He radiates divine wisdom and love upon the whole world, infusing it with the light of transformation. Something new and transformational is being ripened in all of humankind. Just as fruit is ripened through a chemical process caused by the sun's warm rays, the birth of a new humanity requires the completion of a process described in the old alchemical texts. The phoenix burns, only to arise from the ashes of a new magnificent bird, and fly into the open sky. The light of consciousness will permeate all aspects of our being. Indications. The fulfillment of your wishes is possible here now. Relax and give yourself up to the dance. The right partners will find each other. Question. What task or project is on the agenda for you now? Suggestions. Visualize the light and warmth of the sun in your chest and heart. For the next few days, remind yourself several times daily that the sun is shining in and through you. Affirmation. I am in harmony with the divine light which fills and guides me. And now for the preamble, I'd hitched thumb to text, as it were, other than allowing me to drift in that dreamless rejuvenation spell many may as might call upon for Sleeping Beauty's awakenings. Last night, shuffle to the version of that stagecraft on which you wish to draw curtains to. Open or closed. Now possibilities may have some flip for coin as to have read or heard this before resurfacing here now being. I had volunteered information now about seeing a auto on Wake Robin Road that fit the description of a news report broadcast from a neighboring city about a missing teenage girl last seen coerced into what looked like one of those dark navy blue police sport vehicles with the yellow stripes along the sides that the narcotics division used to use back in the day. When questioned, I told them I preferred to remain anonymous, as I never really liked tattletale or narc ratting out or whatever, and thought the less associated the better. Anyways, any of you know how psychometry can get under the skin of those prone to mysticisms will know the feeling that follows. I was out walking an adopted dog at night after dinner, headed to the park near where I was living. I was halfway there on a deserted street around 11 p.m. or so when that same blue beast of a car with the mock yellow stripes and tinted windows rumbled up across from me to a stop, and the door opened, and a 4'11" tall or so figure stepped out into the street side across from me. Engine idling low, as high and distant as thunder, and sure as the Furies will let a body know, I got that feeling. Similar to that dream I had a couple weeks ago when they showed me stacks of naked, soulless bodies caked in sickeningly olfactory sweet swine grease as mounds abound to the devil's trophy rooms out in the goblin universe, beyond that line in the veils between realms, where if raised of healthy character, we are warned and or cautioned other than to make moves that would have us stepping across. That's a fine line. Very definitive. As the feeling was mounting, he reached down into the pocket of his driver's side door and pulled a Glock 45 at us, or what looked like one. In that moment, I locked eyes with him, while in scope as target, simultaneously sorry, an alarm went off. In that moment, I locked eyes with him, in scope as target, simultaneously transmitting to him telepathically the future that would transpire should he pull that trigger. With each squeeze, I got closer. I foresaw sidestepping 5 fired shots in a sprinting zigzag approach, each a near miss. He saw what I would proceed to do to him once I got to him, lowered the weapon, put it back in the door's pocket before looking away, stepped back to his vehicle and drove the hell out of my town. I turned around, went back home, and called it in, thinking better of taking Goody back out that night. They asked me to write it down and submit all the information I could remember. I did as they requested, and turned it in the next day in person, again requesting anonymity. As far as I know, they never recovered the missing girl nor caught the perpetrator, lunatic fringe, we know you're out there. You're not going to win. This is our time. I feel it is important here for our community to be reminded, remade aware, or whatnot, that we are not alone with our psychic natures, and that as far as I have experienced, there are villainously supernatural criminals that can locate and target those who are a threat to exposing their subversive wiles, and should caringly be kept on the edge of our radars, beyond the veil of realms, if we can help it to the goblin universe, where as far as this one is concerned, they can stay unredeemable. Jesus would probably backslap me for that one, but it is what it is. They gave the position I had applied for to the police chief's son. This is later on, when I applied later on, a couple years later. They gave the position I had applied for to the police chief's son, regardless of the flawless examination scores they stone-faced acknowledged. Same police chief's son who'd about a year earlier been going 30 miles per hour in a 45 zone that I admittedly tailed at a car's length until he threatened to throw a glass bottle at me from his Beamer's sunroof. So I backed, following to a further away. Same kid who, after I pulled into that station, same kid who pulled a Yui to impress his girlfriend or appease his young natured alpha wannabe ways, who apparently been in the passenger seat, his girlfriend, to circle back and physically accost me while I was fueling tank at the station, saying there was nothing I could do because he was the son of the police chief, swatting at me with his stripped smart metal zippered jacket, while I calmly fell into a defensive posture as I'd just gotten out of my martial arts class and was at the gas station en route to home. Eventually, he realized I wasn't going to risk getting bloody violent with him, nor allow him close enough to do so himself, and sort of stormed back to his Beamer, no less miffed, and sped away. Kind of feel for whoever he was with, gosh. I'd no idea he was amongst those who'd applied for the position until learning who'd acquired it over me. Sometimes, other than getting hired for a job can be a little more than a trying experience to defeat, we could suppose. Blessing or curse. I'd say blessing at this point, but anyway. 2 or more can hereby have a crack at following the work in progress as an acronym for WIP. Freely or get whipped, I guess, because I'm one to suppose other than meant to be a keeper of that kind of peace. Now, law, I feel, I could take a stab at, especially the specified spiritual laws. Save we'll just adjust to how that cookie crumbles over the platter of gold threading throughout this here silver lining. I know there's a needle in this haystack of tangled threads somewhere. Hope isn't blind of thimble. Had a friend, one teenager, who asked me to see if I could reach around and unclasp her bra latch with one hand, and if I could, on first try, it would indicate I was of the making for to be a naturally dexterous lover, and sakes alive, was able to do that on first attempt. So kudos to those early on ladies who did an amazing bang-up job sculpting us siblings to the gentry. Same doting doll did another service to this vessel's mastering of mastressed ship by riding dry hump over this one in long johns, and let's just say, due to being other than entirely cotton, had us soaked to hiked skirt in black ties over blanched and bloodied underoos before we realized that sent me truckin' to toilet to stop, run, drip, flow to drop, drip. Save this lends a desensitization for that coined term, nice guys finish last, innuendo of a somewhat bettering at sharing of the remote control to joystick activations for game, jackpot royal flush possibilities of that slot machine trumpings of any game to dance with this full for fun house in masquerade by one of severed nerves at bottom side tip of hat for ladies to drop bone of dog for any itch caring to scratch half as sensitive staying power. She's married now to a guy whom almost quit his job from being traumatized by having to photocopy forensic memo of a deceased sodomized baby for medical group he was working for. Now, deep breaths, people, deep breaths. Other than let it get you down in the dumps, now and again, there may be those whom would to gain false elevations, attempt to twist blessings from my curse, paint my blessings as twisted to curse, or worse still, twist curse from my blessings. And to them I'd warn better they look at doing otherwise, lest they succumb themselves the alternative to heaven's everlasting light they'd have me under as that mentioned acronym for hell. Reason for change at times call for crying shames to be heard and endured to be inured. For what may be fear asking of you, if other than you to advantage change of what it will otherwise be informing you are in transit attracting? Move on and act accordingly. Should accords present themselves threadbare or corduroy. And for the love of joys to bliss, relearn to be more than a witness, as that is not all you are simultaneously capable of being. You of y'all and y'all of you make me feel like the luckiest guy in the world. Definitely not the most blessed, best man, though. You know what I intimate here. And that's good for our brothers out there. 'Cause you got a whole sisterhood to care for with considerations. We don't want to know no Eve ill. We want dropping from our eaves, welling up good and nourishing the rains on our own dexterous precision, vision and voice, amidst this here dream catcher of a society. Guess I'm going to continue following the dangling carrot while kicking root down on this turtle's back here, so a badee, that's all, folks.